I think sustainable fashion has a PR problem. Actually, maybe sustainability in general has a PR problem. I think the reason why so many people love the idea of sustainability but don't actually participate in it is because they're terrified of doing it wrong. At least that's how I felt when I learned about sustainable fashion. We are constantly bombarded online by perfectly curated capsule closets that are meant to last for eternity, or we hear advice that swings between, declutter everything, but also our oceans are full of discarded clothes. But the truth is, nobody is doing sustainable fashion perfectly, okay? Not even the lady in her backyard who is like growing red onions so that she can dye her hemp pants purple, okay? Not even her. So how do we look and feel chic without being an asshole to the planet? This is literally something I ask myself daily. I've been answering your questions live on Instagram once a week, and there are a few anxieties that come up over and over again. So instead of spiraling, let's talk about it. We'll talk about what's the most sustainable option. This is kind of a trick question. We'll talk about how to make your style feel better without buying anything new. And we'll talk about how to shop with intention without feeling like you're doing it wrong. What's the most sustainable choice? I get asked this so often in different contexts. So like, what's the most sustainable fabric? Or what's more sustainable, shopping secondhand or shopping local? And what's the most sustainable brand? And I think a lot of people assume there's a right answer for this. Like if we choose the right one, everything is gonna click into place. But the truth is, none of these options are automatically more sustainable than the others. What actually makes something sustainable is how it fits into your life, how often you wear it, how long you keep it for, how you maintain it, and whether or not it actually works for the way you live. And I think this obsession with finding the right answer is what trips us all up. It can lead to guilt, overthinking, too much information overload, and usually, at least in my case, sometimes it can lead to just doing absolutely nothing at all. When I first learned about how harmful the fashion industry was and just overconsumption in general, I tried really hard to shop as little as possible, which I still do. It's helpful to my wallet also. But I also tried really hard to find the best fabrics, what the best ethical brands were. But what I realized was that sometimes the quote-unquote sustainable option didn't last as long. Or I would buy something from a brand that, checked all the right boxes, but I didn't actually like the piece and I didn't wear it that much. So something that's helped me a lot and that helps my clients too is by shifting the question from what's the most sustainable option to what will I actually use, love, and keep and wear the longest? And also, what's gonna help me sleep at night? I noticed that the pressure to find the most sustainable option doesn't only exist in fashion. It's everywhere, including the kitchen. Today I'm making a very old school recipe from my childhood called pasta e ceci. Just like with style, I found what worked better for me wasn't really chasing perfection. It was more about making slow, intentional changes over time. I've only really started paying attention to the quality of food and how I cook since living in Italy last year. And this is what led me to switch my pans to non-toxic cookware, which, yes, happens to be impeccable timing because this part of the video is in partnership with a non-toxic cookware company. I fully appreciate the irony of that. But for me, this is the most sustainable choice right now. And that's what led me to Caraway. Oh my gosh, did you see that? Am I a food blogger now? Calm down, Alyssa. They're a non-toxic kitchenware company that make cookware with the ceramic coating. So they're free of PTFE, Teflon, and other toxic chemicals. The ceramic coating is naturally very slick. So you don't need to use as much oil or butter, and honestly, nothing sticks and they are a breeze to clean. But let's be honest, as an Italian, I will never skimp on olive oil. I will, however, always use a wooden spoon. An Italian kitchen, nothing without one. Do I feel like pepper? Should I do pepper? We're gonna do it. Okay, I think maybe that was too much. Moving on. If we're being real, I'm still an amateur in the kitchen. As someone who has burned many meals in the past, the fact that a Teflon pan can start releasing toxic chemicals into your food with only 2.5 minutes on high heat genuinely freaks me out. So the Caraway cookware set comes with a fry pan, a Dutch oven, a saute pan, and a saucepan. It comes with lids for everything and a magnetic drying rack. When you get the whole cookware set, you save 20% instead of buying each of those pieces individually. And you can actually stack my code, Alyssa B10, on top of that 20% discount. If you are looking to switch out your cookware to something non-toxic, I would highly recommend Caraway. I will leave a link to their website as well as my discount code in the description box below. Thank you to Caraway for sponsoring today's video and making it possible. Now the real question is, do you use a fork or a spoon for orecchiette? It's good. I'm happy. One of the biggest misconceptions about sustainability is that it costs more or that it has to be an investment. But sustainability is actually pretty old school. It literally just means to try and use something as long as possible without constantly reaching for more from a consumer perspective. So one small thing that I've been doing that makes my outfits more interesting with almost no effort is swapping my accessories. And I know this sounds really obvious, but I wasn't doing it often. I have favorites and I keep defaulting to them. So I started leaving all of my seasonal shoes in my front closet, right where I can see them and right where it's easy to grab them and swap them out if I need. And just seeing my options instead of forgetting they exist has made a huge difference. I still love my uniform and wearing things on repeat, but making just one switch makes my whole outfit feel new. And I noticed the same thing works at home. I finally decided to start decorating this place. I'm a little slow to process things, but anyway, here we are. And I thought I wanted to buy some new pillows for the daybed in my office guest room. But I already had extra pillows from my couch that were pretty generic and can kind of work everywhere. I wasn't attached to them being on the couch. So I moved one over to the daybed and I grabbed a vintage baby blanket, threw it on one of my wing chairs that I've had forever. Now 2 spaces feel new and invigorated and interesting, which is really exciting. I literally just swapped things out and moved them around. My space still needs some work. I want art and a couple of other things to add, but these homeware accessories, I could swap them out the same way I did my shoes. Another zero spend upgrade that has actually saved me money is by prioritizing cost per wear. Cost per wear is just the amount that you paid for a garment divided by the number of times you wear it. And once I started prioritizing this, I stopped saving my special pieces for imaginary or very rare occasions. Wearing my elevated pieces has made my everyday outfits feel good, just better, more elevated. But honestly, it's a nice reminder that I don't need to earn the right to wear clothes that I really love. Looking good does help you feel good. And giving yourself permission to wear what you already own, that's been a game changer for me. Sometimes I feel a wave of guilt when I buy something, even if it's something I planned for, I've saved for, I did research on, and it's something that I actually really needed and wanted. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm Italian and guilt is just part of my DNA, but I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way. One shift that really helped me was realizing that I don't need different standards for different price points. Whether I'm thrifting a $10 sweater or considering a $300 sweater, I still look for the same things. I found this especially helpful when I'm tempted by something that's trend driven or a lower price point. I'll usually turn the garment inside out, make sure the stitching looks as nice and neat as it does on the outside. I'll check out hardware, make sure it feels nice and heavy, that it's reinforced. And I really like being able to touch the garment beforehand, like that it's nice and weighty, that it feels good on my skin. None of this guarantees anything. We really don't know about a garment until we've worn it and washed it over and over again. But it does help me choose pieces that feel like they'll hold up. And that in itself is already a more sustainable choice. Another habit that's helped me shop with more confidence and clarity is knowing where I'm okay spending a lot of money and where I'm not. I'll splurge on the everyday pieces that I reach for all the time. They're more utilitarian, they're more basic even. Things like my denim, jeans, belts, footwear, knitwear, even my button-up shirts. Eyewear, because I love my glasses, I wear them often, and coats. I mean, I'm Canadian. Coats are survival. Things that I'm okay spending less on, dresses, really summery, resort-inspired items, occasion wear pieces too, and smaller things like ball caps, for example. Those categories are personal, and yours obviously will be too, but they've helped me walk away from a purchase or just walk away from a store empty-handed, feeling calmer, clearer, more confident about my own personal style, but also feeling less worried that I made a bad choice. I hope this video gave you some clarity around navigating sustainability if it's something you're interested in, and how to keep your style feeling and looking good, because it's important. Thank you again to Caraway for sponsoring today's video. I'm actually really happy with that pasta. I have so much left. If you want to swap out your pans for a non-toxic alternative, definitely check out Caraway. I recommend them, and I recommend getting the cookware set since you'll save 20% by bundling, plus you can stack my discount code AlyssaB10 and get an additional 10% off. You can also use my code to save on all their products site-wide. I will leave again the link and the discount code and the recipe in your description box below. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next slow fashion video. Ciao.